Hi, everybody. Yes, we're very late, but fuck it. We're doing it live. Welcome to the Alien Earth Roundtable. This is the final episode of the season, and boy, oh boy, do we have thoughts. Did we like it? Did we not like it? Is Shifty and Chris going to have another fight to end all fights? We're just going to have to wait and see.
We better not, because Danny and Alonzo aren't here, so it'll just be you two.
Do you think I was doing it for them?
Well, I mean, you got nobody left.
It doesn't matter. I got people who would watch this. They expect things.
All right.
They expect Ultra Instinct level, Mortal Kombat style action here on the Alien Earth Roundtable. I mean, we've seen it all on this show. I mean, we've seen no holds barred street fighting. I mean, there were tears, there was anger, there was laughter, there was betrayal, heartbreak.
Trying to win an Emmy here. I thought we were trying to win an Emmy here.
Yeah, come on, guys. Well, we were trying to win the Oscars.
Webby.
I don't know. There you go. It had to be the Webby right now. But is YouTube going to end up being eligible for Emmys or for Oscars? Are they going to join the movie world and the TV world like Netflix and Amazon? Or are they going to?
Well, this has to end up in theaters for it to be eligible for an Oscar. So they would have to.
Well, not necessarily, because remember, they're arguing, and I don't know if they've gotten it done yet, that movies like what the Netflix releases that are movies, they're arguing that they need to be allowed to go up for Oscars. Well, there's a lot of people who don't want that because they're like, wait a minute, no, but the thing is, I think that's because they're afraid that some of them might be worth it. But I don't know. Doesn't matter. We would win the award of whatever.
Yeah, we would win the award for consistently doing weekly Alien reviews.
There you go.
Because boy, oh boy, do I have thoughts about this last episode of Alien Earth. So, way it's going to go, same roundtable rules. It's going to be overall thoughts, positives, negatives, and at the end, it'll be final grades, final thoughts, and we'll do final grades, final thoughts on the episode, and then we'll do final grades, final thoughts on the show or season as a whole. So, without further ado, I think we're going to start off with our overall thoughts. And you know what? I'm going to I don't know who I should let go first, because I know Shifty is like just waiting in the background, just like seething. Like he's got like foam at the mouth, like just talking. He's ready. He's ready to fucking like rage at this episode. I can feel the anger pulsating through the screen. But on the other hand, I think I'm going to have him wait a second. I'm going to let Chris go first because I want to set the tone here. I want to set the table, if you will, because I haven't heard Chris's thoughts yet. I know what Shifty's thoughts are, but I want to hear what Chris's thoughts are first. So we'll start with you, Chris. Your overall thoughts on episode 8 of the season finale of Alien Earth.
Well, so I've said this a lot this season that, I'm going to say this season because I think if it hasn't been greenlit for season 2, I do believe they're going to get a season 2 to try to smooth out any rough edges of this finale. But it was very ambitious. It plays very heavy off of power shifts, myth breaking, and it's going for what I would call a long game setup. It doesn't give total closure, of course, which I don't think anybody that's been on this has ever really thought that they were going to completely come up with something that would be a satisfactory closure of the season. But it almost feels more like a hinge to a season 2 than a finale. So I guess it almost feels like they came up with season 2 as they were doing this and said, let's just kind of leave that open for the season 2, which is dangerous to do. It does deliver on some of the payoffs. There's some spectacle, and then it's trying to reorient the whole series to move to a season 2. That's how I feel after watching this, that they were looking more at a point where, and I've said it before, there comes a point in the season you're like, well, wait a minute, we're at episode 6 and we're not going to wrap this up. What do we do? Well, there's two things you can do. One, hastily wrap it up, leave some things out there and just say, screw it, we're not going to worry about that anymore. Or you can kind of do what this does. It wraps up some of it and leaves you with some explanation left to yourself. And on the other hand, it also says, no, we're not going to rush ourselves. We're going to try to, like I said, they're definitely going for season 2 on this. They definitely were thinking season 2 that they would have more time to work some of this stuff out, which is, again, ambitious, but I would assume he was pretty much told, listen, if you can't get it all wrapped up, we'll probably go. I see it getting a season 2. It's just, it is very, it's very difficult, or not difficult. It's very risky to do a whole series this way when you're talking about streaming. Streaming is all about getting the numbers in. Again, we don't know what streaming does monetarily for companies yet. I don't think anybody's really laid out the formula that for every view it gets, there's this much money in. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure how you quantify this into profits for a company like Amazon, or not Amazon, but is this Disney? This is Disney because it's Fox.
Yeah.
It's Century Studios.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you quantify that. So they've either seen enough views from it, say it's going to go forward or not. But that's a risky thing to do. But I think that's what they were going for. It's visually strong. It's blend of horror and like grotesque body elements and stuff like that, like the eyeball alien. It's pretty cool. And then it goes into the more classic sci-fi stuff, the corporate stuff, the consciousness transfer stuff. So that's all still a very big highlight. And those two, I think those are the big themes, is what does it mean to be, I don't know about human, but what are we playing with here? The consciousness transfers and all that. And then again, something that is a very big element of the Alien, which is the creatures, the body or all that stuff that you get from the Alien movies. You get that in this. So those are good things. I think that the tone is uneven, which I'll get into more, but they're doing things within the series itself, within the mythos of the show that I like. But I can get more into what this means as a whole for the Alien universe. So I'll leave it at that without a did I like it or not like it. There's some things that I'm trying to process through, but I think there's some really good stuff there, and I can go into more of my likes and dislikes here later.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Shifty, I'll let you go next because I know you got some things you want to say.
Yeah, first I like to say that this I never said that the Acolyte was better than this show. I said that Alien Earth is the Acolyte of the Alien franchise. Just wanted to get that out of the way, people. News up front: Predator Badlands. I don't remember if I mentioned this on the last show or not, but Dan Trachtenberg, the director, came out and said that there's no xenomorph in the film, none. So they're not going to cross over at this point in time.
Not yet.
Alien Romulus 2 update.
Oh wait. Go ahead, finish that, and I'll say something after you're done.
Damien Reguna, director of Where Evil Lurks, a pretty decent foreign horror film, came out last week and said that he did have a conversation with Fede Alvarez, but it was not about him taking over the reins for the sequel. So the hunt continues, and it's not going to meet its production date, which was supposed to be this month. Season 2 of Alien Earth, not greenlit yet. Noah Hawley seems optimistic. Fans seem divided.
Do what?
I said Noah Hawley seems optimistic it will be greenlit for season 2.
Yeah.
Fans seem divided.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not going to say that the fans want a season 2 necessarily. I just think that they're going to get one
Yeah.
and then he better get his shit together. uh Going to the Badlands, no, I've read many things saying no, there won't be a xenomorph, but that doesn't mean you haven't crossed over. They have Wayland Yutani in it. They've definitely, it's a crossover. It's going to be, it's in the universe now. And again, with an Alien versus Predator, which before, and I think Steve said something to you about how, Alien versus Predator wasn't in or I don't know, you guys had a conversation on Twitter, I think, about it. They've always kind of hinted that they could be combined together, but they're going to now. And I don't necessarily care that they do that. Again, it's like everything. You got to do it the right way. And I don't know if they're going to do it the right way.
Well,
Go ahead.
as long here's the thing. Alien is already in the Predator timeline, so the Alien timeline doesn't really need to acknowledge Predator because the Alien is already in the. It's still two timelines, so they don't really need. It's already crossed over, but it's not kind of. It's all confusing.
Yeah,
I need to
know.
whip out my graph. Yeah, I got a graphic. Yeah.
No,
It's all messed up. Okay, overall thoughts. This is going to take a little bit here, but here we go. The finale wasn't as bad as how we got there, which made the ending feel as if it was unearned and rushed in many respects. That and totally demystifying any shred left of aura from the xenomorph. The show began great, had some nice ideas and a few great episodes early on that pulled you in before they dived into, get ready, Chris, deceptive editing, false clues that were presented front and center, not some random Easter egg tucked away in the background, previews showcasing elements from future episodes, not following weak leading speculative confusion, including a shot that never made air. A subplot, Slightly's dilemma with Morrow, which was given way too much time across 4 episodes, and still needed an additional subplot, Nibs' pregnancy angle, to facilitate it, which ultimately went nowhere. The domestication of the xenomorph in the silliest and thus far most unexplained manner ever, with Wendy and her ability to communicate with them, which between that and the horrible redesign of the alien itself and its really awful man in suit presentation has left me feeling like this may be a jump the shark moment for the creature. That
find
and in
a place
that
to breathe.
No, here we go. That and in retrospect,
Go.
Oh, I think you cut out again.
Oh, I have a question for him.
by the way of California sass, he's had since Deadwood, which too often made it seem like he might have been at odds with Cavalier. No other actor playing a synth in the Alien franchise went that far. But given he's a prodigy model, I guess I can let it slide. Oh, and even with the cool premise of hybrid synths, which isn't a totally original idea, as there's been a bunch of other films and shows that's dealt with robots or bodies given childlike consciousnesses, and them going through the learning process of what humanity offers. This unfortunately squanders exploration and real development of that for plot, and ultimately doesn't measure up to the dozen or so similar themed offerings of the last 2 decades, including and especially the Alien prequels. Now, this is the best review I saw of this on Twitter, and I reposted it on my Twitter account. It's from The Siege of Sci-Fi. It's funny that Noah Hawley called the plotline of Prometheus and Alien Covenant inherently less useful for the franchise than what his own series set out to do and then managed to make. Alien Earth, a show that is often copying the 1979 movie Beat for Pete, feeding of its aesthetic entirely before throwing it into a strange blender with far more futuristic technology, an aspect which he himself criticized harshly when talking about Prometheus, while also telling a less refined version of Prometheus and Covenant's android story and showing us some of the ugliest xenomorph visuals we have ever seen. when you think you are the next Ridley Scott, but end up being Jean-Pierre Jeunet directing Alien Resurrection instead.
Hmm. 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 Can I ask you a
No,
question?
sir. No, sir. I did not like it.
No. Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Yes.
What do you mean by deceptive editing? No,
Oh,
here's let me break down what that question means. It does not
yes.
mean that I don't understand what you're saying,
Uh-huh.
but what I'm saying is you don't get to say if it's deceptive because you didn't edit it. It was edited that way by an editor for a purpose. You just didn't like it. So
No.
I
No,
think
it
you
was
need to say
no,
that it's editing style that you don't care for.
no. It was deceptive. The
No, it's
editing
not.
was
It's like
deceptive.
saying that
No, it was.
that Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, is a horrible trilogy because they don't understand Star Wars. It doesn't matter if they understand it or not. It's their thing now. It's Disney. It doesn't matter what you say.
No.
Disney can do whatever
No.
they want. They could have put a xenomorph in Star Wars and said it. Well, there you go. We don't care. It's there. We're gonna put it there because we want it there. They could have,
Okay.
and nobody can say anything about it. I'm just saying
All right.
you didn't like the editing style, correct?
No, no. I'm talking about the editing of the preview for episode 6, which was
That's still how
incredibly
they want to
deceptive.
do it. That's what they wanted to do.
Yes, and it was deceptive. It was deceptive in the manner in which they presented it because they did not say that it was for
That's
upcoming
a
episodes.
designed way that they wanted to present something to you that you
Yes,
didn't
and it
like
was
because of
deceptive
it.
because
Everybody
I
does that. Marvel's done
no,
that.
no,
Marvel's
not
taken
like this.
and put the put in
Yes,
what putting a whole. They put like 10 characters in the
yes,
Infinity War
yes,
trailers that weren't even in
but
the fucking movie.
yes,
And
but
that's deceptive.
that's completely different what they did.
It's not.
That's complete. Yes, no,
It's
that's not affecting the story. It's just saying, oh, the characters are here in this battle. What they
again.
did what they did in the trailer for episode 6, they put shots from the like episode 7 and 8 into and one shot that was completely not even in the show at all, and they made it seem that the creature we have been speculating for 6 months was a xenomorph, which being the fly creature. We thought it was
Mm-hmm,
going to be a variant of the xenomorph, right? And that's how
mm-hmm.
they structured that preview. They did not say it was upcoming episodes. They said, they made it look like it's the following episode because the following episode was called The Fly.
Again, I just disagree that it's something that
It's
is
completely deceptive.
deceptive. Fine, but it's more of the fact that you had a problem with it. Nobody else had a problem with it.
No, a lot of people, anybody that's
Okay,
sitting there and
what I mean is
making
nobody else had a problem with it in this group. And okay, you're right.
no,
Other people had a problem with it too. It's just called
it's
let it go because it's what they chose to do.
no, it's not. It's
You
not let
can't
it
tell
go
me that
because
they didn't have a right to do whatever they wanted to do with their
they can do
show.
anything they want to do, but that doesn't mean that people should like it. I'm just saying that what
I
they
didn't
did.
say they should like it. That means that you
Okay,
didn't like it.
why should I let it go? Because when I watch shows like this, especially the way they present things early on, like the faces on the wall, like the what we found out was the mold scrubber that keeps popping up, like the face, like the doll baby head that washed up on the beach for episode 4. Episode 4, I think it was episode 4.
I am taking more issue with your wording, not with what you're saying. That's what I'm trying to say. This is a personal preference of yours. And yes, was it deceptive? But lots of shows, lots of movies, lots of things use deceptive previews. Think of it this way. We're going to go way off from the sci-fi universe here.
Right.
Do you watch baseball at all? Do you watch even football even?
No.
Before the teams with baseball are decided for the playoffs, they start playing playoff previews. And all they do is they throw in about 8 of the teams that could make it. And then, 2 weeks later, it may end up 3 of those teams aren't even in it. That's deceptive. That's just because they want to get on the jump. But nobody complains about that. And I'm not equating this to the exact same thing. What I'm saying is lots of things use deceptive previews to either throw you off.
As somebody
that's
watches
designed.
As somebody that's watched a lot of shows on broadcast like this that supposedly builds up like a mystery and that you can speculate
X-Files
over.
Did it all the time.
Yes, but they say coming up this season on so and so. They didn't say that. They didn't even say on the next episode.
But they don't even have to do that. What I'm saying is again,
if you know that you're building a show that is heavily entrenched on visuals that could lead people into thinking that those visuals may mean something the way that you're presenting them, that would also come into play for the previews themselves, and to not point out that the visuals that you're sticking in this preview is not for the following episode, but for episodes coming up after that is heavily deceptive marketing, and it goes in line with what they pulled off over the show. And they know people watches it like that. And this isn't a case of, this isn't a case of like LDG watching WandaVision.
No, I was giving you crap on that. You know that.
The stuff that he was saying was like this in the background.
He was watching it. Yeah.
Yes. But what I was picking up on was stuff that was getting full-blown close-up shots and lingering shots. And it was zooming into things. And when he's telling a tale of, Wendy and the Peter Pan, and, you think you're supposed to concentrate on that stuff. And so far, none of it has panned out for anything besides maybe the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil thing that Kirsch circled back on slightly. But it's a lot of nothing. It's a lot.
I just think what I'm trying to go down is that you're framing it from a sense that what they did was wrong, when sometimes that's the purpose of it. They don't care. That's their intent, is to deceive you, and that's allowed.
Yes.
So that is a personal preference. So that's why I'm saying I don't think that's deceptive in a way that you make it. It comes across to me when you say it that you thought that they were doing it for nefarious purposes. I think they do it as a part of the show, that they're trying to keep you in suspense, and they don't want you to necessarily know what's real and what's not real. And that's what this whole series was. So it played into what they were doing with the series. You just didn't like that about it.
No, I think they laid stuff that should have been clues out, and it wasn't. And what was the?
I think that's why they did it. Is they didn't want to lay clues out. Again, that's what I think. That doesn't mean I'm right, and it doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just means I think that's what you're saying. You're not.
Well,
that's not how you feel.
Coming off 3 seasons of Legion where that type of imagery came to play, and then watching like Lost and other shows like that. I mean, people are conditioned. I mean, there's tons of shows on Netflix.
There's the problem. Conditioning. You've been conditioned, not people. You've been conditioned that way.
No,
and you have to keep yourself an open mind to that.
I'm not the only person that does this, because there's tons of groups, there's tons of communities that watch TV a certain way now because of shows like Lost and stuff. And
I don't get into that. I keep my mind open the whole way through it, because I know that just because the person has a style.
Well, I don't know. When you show a flashback of the creator of the show playing the kid's father, right, and then show his face on the wall over top the machine that created the synths. I mean, you got to put 2 and 2 together, and you're like thinking, yeah, well, that must be connected, and they're leading to something with that. They didn't. They didn't, and that sucks, because.
And I think I said that there's a lot of things in this I think they're using for the long game. So therefore, if you go off your theory, they're going to be like, well, if they know how we play things, maybe we can get away with not bringing this back up. And they're going to be like, well, what the fuck? Why didn't they bring it up? And then season 2 comes along. Next thing you know, they wrap it back in. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying.
I don't think it will. I don't
Again,
think it.
I have problems with Superman for not sticking the landing on things, and I love a lot of stuff that James Gunn has done, but I didn't go into that movie thinking that I was gonna just that it was just gonna be a
Well,
out of the park thing because I like James Gunn. I
I mean,
don't
they
let
also.
people, I don't let the people involved in a project make myself think that it's going to be good just because. I didn't think The Last Jedi was good just because Mark Hamill was in it. I thought The Last Jedi was good or decent because I was intrigued by what the story was, even though a lot of it fought the mythos. I was completely fine with it in the direction that they were going if they had just continued that direction.
But I still I maintain the end of episode 3 was edited deceptively there too, making it look like she had a new ability to see things through the hive mind than what we eventually found out was just some stupid frequency where she can uh, talk to the alien, because
Yeah.
that really wasn't what they were going for at first, and it I think they kind of pivoted there between episode 3 and 4, because it seems like her power totally changed or whatever. I don't know. I just
I don't know either, and I'm not necessarily saying I disagree with the things you're saying or the intent of what you're saying. I think I disagree with your wording of it. Um,
uh,
because I think it was intentional that they did that.
yeah.
The
Well,
the
is it
the
intentionally deceptive?
previews, but is that not a stylistic choice rather than
It
a
it, it is, but
something
it's
that's
kind of
wrong?
it's yes. I think it's a kind of a, middle finger to your viewers that are sitting there like, we
I
know
think
they're.
your
I mean,
butt
okay.
hurt
Let me.
that
Let me.
your best friend
No, no,
director
no. Here, let me give you.
didn't do
Let me give
something
you.
that you liked.
Let me give you a scenario here. Let me give you a scenario here. Ahsoka, not a great show. I mean, it had its moments, right?
Mhm.
We've discussed it before. My whole theory with the world between worlds, and that, because I was
Oh
going off
God.
on that for years. Now listen, for years and years, right? The way that Filoni presented the world between worlds in Ahsoka was different than how he presented it in Rebels, and I like to think that he did that and he made it more of a uh, psychological plane of existence in her head instead of a place that she discovered, like they did on Rebels, because he knew that people had been theorizing about that place for years and years, and he didn't go against that theory. He still delved into it. He still worked it into the story, but he didn't go against the theories because he respected the audience and the speculative nature of how fans look at these shows. Noah Hawley didn't do that. He lays out stuff that you think are clues, like I said, and they lead nowhere. And that shows a sign of disrespect, I think, in my opinion, to the audience. Because, like I said, from Lost on, we're conditioned to look at these shows in a different way.
You were
We're
conditioned, not everybody.
Not all shows, though.
not
That's
all
the
shows,
problem.
but
This
a lot
isn't.
of shows.
But this isn't a mystery box show. Lost was a mystery box show. This wasn't a mystery box show. So there was no reason for you to have those kind of speculations that you did.
Early
Everything was
on,
there in plain sight.
yes, early on, when you're focusing on those three faces on the wall, you're focusing that eerie way that beach scene ended in the first episode, where they stopped playing ominous music and it faded to black when uh, Sylvia and Wendy walked back to the complex. Maybe that's a flash forward or something. We don't know. Even Chris said maybe that's a flash forward. Maybe they're telling things out of order. We were speculating on things because of the way they were presented, and it just seems like here at the end of the series, nothing really, except one bit I'll touch on later, that they didn't call back to. Now they did, uh, and I'll bring it up later because it's pretty neat what they. It involves Kirsch in the lab, so we'll get to that.
Okay. I just think what it is that you didn't like how it was done. It's not necessarily that that's a wrong move. You just didn't like the move.
Trailers do it all the time, right? You watch the Infinity trailer, you show Hulk in the Infinity trailer
Yes.
in the Hulk form, and then you watch the movie and he doesn't even get a
Yes.
Hulk form. So they do that stuff all the time.
He mentioned that. He actually mentioned that a while ago, and yeah, I know. But that's like I said, that's different. That's characters being somewhere they're not supposed to be. That's not that's not the story though. That's not.
No, that is part of the story because now you think you're
I,
gonna get Hulk in a fight scene, and it's not him. It's Banner in a Buster suit. So they just ruin that story.
well,
It's the same thing.
I just think that they should have said upcoming on this season on Alien Earth instead of like going down the train and still making us think that the Fly was going to be a variant of the Xenomorph, which had been speculated for like 8 months since the teaser had dropped. So
They said
but
the
that's like
Fly was
that.
going to be a what?
Yeah. There was a teaser back in like last winter of the ship crashing, and we saw like a creature flying through the ship trying to escape, and there was flames around and everything, and you saw the wings fluttering, and you heard the xenomorph screeching, and then it closed with a shot of the xenomorph, and he's like at the window, and he's like he's freaking out, and that was we've been speculating. A lot of people's been speculating since then because of the wings and stuff that there was a variant of the xenomorph that was a fly creature on the ship, and they knew that, and they titled the episode for episode 6 "The Fly," and it opened the trailer for that opened or the teaser for that opened with shots of the xenomorph and stuff that's out in the wild, and that was the theory that it escaped the ship crash. So they were teasing us to think a certain way and pull the rug out from under us because the Fly was not a xenomorph. It had nothing to do with the xenomorphs or anything, and that was still a cool creature, and how it killed Isaac and stuff. But they teased it had been something else.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just me that thinks that the way that you're presenting your view on that is incorrect.
Well, I mean,
Again, my personal opinion, but that doesn't mean
No,
I
I
gotta
agree
say.
with you, Chris, because I've never heard anybody talk about, oh, well, the xenomorph and that fly is. I never heard
yeah,
that. I've only heard that from you.
yeah.
And I've
But I
watched
mean,
all
if
the
this,
breakdowns from the guys, Emergency Awesome, all these guys. I watched all the breakdowns. I watched all
well,
the
that's
street stuff, and I've never heard anybody make that speculation but you.
really because that's we've been talking about this like since the teaser dropped back last winter. That's we must not go down the same
Maybe I might have missed it, but
path.
I'm just saying, me
Yeah.
personally, I didn't know.
But I mean, I understand you guys having a problem with what I'm saying if it was just one thing, but it's like multiple things, like in the show that, like, I mean, tons of stuff, like from the, plot points in the show, like, the stuff on the wall, and then like the end of episode 3, which I laid out, it was deceptively edited together between 2 points in time, and then you have that trailer, and it's just they know what they're doing, and it's kind of you know not cool.
Well, that went on for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look, I don't, I do, me, right? And I don't, this is the first time I've really done this with a show. I mean, I've never done this with any of the Star Wars shows, like out in, outside of maybe the World Between Worlds thing that was building up to Ahsoka. But that, I mean, I've never reacted this way to anything like that. So this is like a one-time deal to where I'm like, yeah, something's off that they're doing here with the way they're presenting things.
Listen, as long as you're not going to the hospital like LDG did, I mean, it should. I mean, I think it should be fine. Probably.
Yeah, I don't care about the show enough for that to happen now. So I mean, I'm good.
Well, that's good. I'm
I'm
glad.
over it.
I'm glad you're not at a point where you need to go to the hospital. So I'm glad I'm glad Shifty, you're doing fine.
I'm doing fine. I'm doing a-okay.
That's good. Was that your overall thoughts?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been done with them for like a good 20 some minutes.
All right,
Wow,
fair
40
enough.
minutes in when we're only in overall thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, I had to
Chris is
ask him
saying I
about
get
when
it.
he
Chris is
when he
saying I
used
get it.
his when he used it as deceptive editing. I'm like, but that's a stylistic choice. That's a director's choice.
And I can have issue with that. I can take issue with that.
Yes, but that's what I said is that it isn't deceptive editing. It is an editing choice that you don't like. That's the difference. That's the thing. You
Okay.
don't get a say on what's deceptive or not if that's if
But
that was what they
no, I
planned
do.
on.
I do. Because it was deceptive. I can say
But you weren't a
that's
part
what
of the editing process, so they don't think it's deceptive as much as they want to mislead you or anything. It's a stylistic editing choice.
okay, and I can think that it's deceptive if I think it's
That
deceptive
is
because
your opinion. That's what I'm trying to go down. Is
but
that you call it straight out deceptive, and it's like, well,
yeah,
I don't see it as
I
deceptive. I
mean
see it as a choice.
Yeah, Chris is right. It's your
so
opinion.
we're basically arguing over what's an opinion and what's a fact, but everything we say here is an opinion. So I mean,
Exactly. So I
yes.
think what you
So I
needed to
don't
say is that I did not like
so
the way that they edited it. I saw it as
but
deceptive editing. That's what I would have
but
said.
I think that goes without saying. I mean, so that makes all this arguments and stuff that
Not
we've had.
arguments.
What all this stuff that we've
It's playful banter.
all this stuff was for nothing. I mean, we
I just
okay.
I just try to figure out what you see and why the issue is of seeing it that way. It's fine. It's like I said, we're past that. We're done. We're done on that. It's fine. You don't like the editing choices, and I understand why. I just didn't necessarily. I didn't have an issue with the way that it's necessarily fully edited. There were issues at points with editing, but whatever. That's fine. We're past that. We're on and ready to go to Anza for his overall.
Jesus, Chris, all Dr. Melfi over here.
Yeah, I'm very nice. Like,
well, about as nice as a cactus.
hey, those cactuses can be very nice.
Sure. So we'll go to you. Overall thoughts on episode 8. All right. Well, just
Anza,
Let's
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, episode 8 was absolute trash. Overall thought it
Yep.
was garbage. Did not like it. Thought it was stupid. They did a lot of the things that I said they were going to do, and they messed up this series with some of the decisions that they made in this show. And
Yep.
we are going to get into that because I have no likes pretty much all this
Hell
year.
yeah.
So
so I'm taking it on so that I'm just gonna skip you when it comes to likes.
yeah, you might as well. Because there's no likes. I hated this episode. I thought it was. And we'll get into the dislikes, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb.
All right. Well,
My man.
you know what? I think I'm gonna go 3 for 3 here. I did not like this episode. I kind of understand what they're going for, but at the same time, like this was very goofy. Like this was like when we were talking about tonally inconsistent. I've had this issue. Like I said this last week, I think, or last whatever time we did this, but man, the tone does not match up with anything whatsoever. And yeah, I'll talk about it more when I get in my negatives because, oh god, like there were points where I forgot that this was an alien show because of some of the decisions they make, and oh boy, you know what? I'm gonna save my thoughts.
The biggest problem with this episode, and I think this show, is those other creatures were more interesting than the xenomorph.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Every other creature they had in there, I was more interested in them than the xenomorph. So
you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a spoiler alert to my negative. I don't. You know how this show is called Alien Earth. Well, in this episode, there really wasn't a whole lot of the fucking alien.
No. Yeah.
Which
Well, here's what I gotta ask is that okay? I guess I mean in overall thoughts you can say you don't like it. I always like to keep people on. I don't like telling people outright by my overall thoughts if I liked it or not. I like to point out things that I was intrigued by and then hold off until I get my dislikes or into the end and overall thoughts. That's when I will finally let you know what I think about it. I agree with you guys though. Right now, I don't know how you have a season 2 on this. It again, and I said this throughout this whole roundtable thing. It's like if you can't focus the energy into the alien mythos. I don't care if you want to go off on your own track. It's fine to do that. We've seen lots of shows do it. We've seen lots of movies do it. But we've also seen I will kind of jump back to Star Trek. Star Trek at least has at least enough of a care to the fans to say this belongs here, this belongs here, this belongs here, but it's not a part of this, and it's not a part of this, but it is a part of Star Trek. So if you don't like this or this, you can go back to this and say, okay, I'm going to just focus on this. And you can focus just on that. When you talk about the alien mythos, it's very blatantly needs to be drawn into it. And I think Shifty said that going away from Prometheus and all that, saying the things he did, and he read the review there. It's very true. Saying these things before the show and then going into the show and doing the things you said are horrible that Ridley Scott did. It's like, listen, dude, you can't talk shit on somebody for doing the same thing you did that did it. And he has more of a right to do it because he basically created the version that started it all. So he has a right to have a touch of that. It's like saying if George Lucas were to come back into Star Wars and decide to do something in a movie that made you, like, for instance, let's say he did what I suggested they do for The Rise of Skywalker. Let's say he comes in and he wants to go out and say, I'm going to do a sequel trilogy for my Star Wars movies again. And they say, okay, fine, you have carte blanche to do whatever you want. And the first thing he does is he takes 10 minutes of those 3 movies, puts them into a montage, and then has Luke, Mark Hamill, wake up. And it was just a bad dream or something. And then he finds a way to write off and write away that sequel trilogy. Well, it was his to begin with. If that's how he wanted to handle it, then he can handle it that way. If he gets the reins back, he can do that. That's why you can't tell Disney they were wrong. May not have worked, may have sucked. But so it's really bad when you tell the guy who created the series that you did things wrong with what you started. So I do take offense to that.
I got back on you though, Chris. Disney fucking did it wrong. I'm sorry.
I'm not defending Disney, but that's their right now. They have the right to do it.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, but that's what I'm saying. But this is different. When he said, "Oh, Ridley Scott did this and this," he didn't like the advanced technologies and this and that, and then you do the exact same thing. I mean, again, the first 10 minutes of the first episode felt like it was ripped out of the 78, 9, whatever it was, Alien movie. It felt like it was ripped right out of it. The lighting, the graininess, the coloring, everything felt like it was ripped right out of that. And then you flip on that and you pull it out of that, and now it feels like it belongs way forward of anything the Alien has done. So you said that was a problem in the prequels, but then you go ahead and do it, and you're still in the prequel territories. You're before all of that still. So again, I don't like the fact that he called that out, and then like the review that Shifty read. You don't get a right to say that stuff if you did it. And I don't know. This whole series has been a myriad of issues for me, and one of the biggest issues, Anzo, you brought it up. It's like, is it an alien movie? Is it an alien show? I mean, none of this stuff fits anywhere in the whole mythos. So again, you have to get rid of it all before you go get caught up to Alien. This stuff can't exist anymore, and somehow there has to be a giant cover up of some sort. Which I'm not saying they can't show up and make happen. They can. Obviously, Wayland Yutani has a very good track record of covering things up because they do it throughout all the movies. It's like, well, why are we here? I don't know. And only Ripley, like in Alien, from Alien to Alien 2, she kind of gets it right from the get-go. She's like, okay, we're going here to do this. And then she automatically sees, nope, they're still trying to do the same shit they were doing the last time. It's difficult to like a show that carries a title that can't live up to the title. So if you want to know what I thought, there you go.
Man, Chris,
I just like to make it.
Tell them how you really feel.
I don't know how you do a season 2 on this and salvage it. I just don't know how you do it.
Well, how you can do a season 2 is just how you salvage it. That's the problem.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how you do a season 2 and salvage.
They turned Wendy into freaking Neo.
Yeah, man, I'm going to talk about that when I get to my negatives because I got a lot to say when it comes to that shit and the Noah Hawley comments that he said and just the overall ideas that just happened that just caused this to be a fucking mess because holy shit. Man, I was really nice about this show, but good God, this ending was everything I fucking feared and worse. I'll say this before we get to our positives, if we have any. I would have been much fucking happier if a Predator showed up and they were just like, all right, this show has nothing to do with whatever those alien movies are. This is going to be a Predator thing. And I would have said, you know what? Fair enough.
It would have been better to separate this out from the alien universe and wrap in the AVP alien into this and then use Wayland Yutani over there to say, I know Wayland Yutani is in this, but it's not the same one as the alien.
Yes.
And that, at least that's an explanation. Not a good one, but at least it's an explanation.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Like, had they done that, I would have been like, okay, this kind of makes sense. Not by much, but at least I could say, okay, in the context of AVP, sure. But when we're talking the context of Alien, doesn't it
make more sense then that explains why the alien is in the Predator universe? Doesn't it kind of fit into that? Doesn't it help it fit better into the AVP Predator universe then?
Not really, because it already exists like for millions and millions of years already. So, well,
okay, but my point is then it's just more fodder for that part of the universe, I guess. I don't know. Okay. I mean, I think we all agree here that this was just horribly handled, and I am sorry for you, Shifty, that you had to learn that. Oh, by the way, people that we like that are good showrunners like Chris Columbus and other people, they fuck up. They just do, and I never expect him not to. I mean, I'm ready for it when it happens.
I think part of the problem is I've been waiting on this for like 5+ years. So
that sucks.
It does suck. Now we're gonna get to our positives. Now, Anzo, I'm gonna skip you because I know you don't have any positives.
I'd have to remember because I know I did say a few. Maybe the acting, maybe Kirsch and them, I guess. Right, and I'll say the positive that I have is the fight was good for the short amount of time it was to actually finally see them fight. But other than that, man, this episode just didn't do it for me.
That's fair. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm very quick with my positives. I mean, visually the show looks good. Like, I mean, that's something but it's like these Star Wars shows. Like, how many fucking times am I going to say, "Oh, it visually looks good," before eventually it's like, "All right, it's not a positive anymore. I just expect it." So you know what? No, I'm not going to have that as a positive because I just expect it at this point. So fuck you. If you don't like it, that's on you. I mean the acting again. It's again like the visuals, like it's good. Like again, what do you want me to say? I mean, I guess the Kirsch and Morrow fight was kind of cool, but even then, it's not long enough for me to really be like, "Wow, that was cool."
Yeah.
Like it was just like "Oh, that happened, okay," and then. Man, there's a lot of stupid fucking shit in this episode that actually pisses me off. The more I think about it, because, oh my god, nope. I'm gonna wait till my negatives. I'm just not can't do it, guys. I can't do it. It's just, man. I guess like when the eye like is like kind of leaving the goat, sheep, lamb, and then when he's like puts himself in the dead guy, I was like, okay, that looks kind of cool. But like again, it's like Weekend at Bernie's type shit. You know,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
dude.
You know what? Also funny too, right? So that I traveled because there was a lot of people dead that died in that place, and it went all the way outside to go get the guy that died and was like pretty much dead for like days or I guess hours. I don't get it. I just thought it was stupid.
Like, I mean, he literally has like his fucking chest is burst open. Like,
Yeah.
you don't think anybody's gonna notice the big fucking eye that's in the guy's head? Like,
No, why would they?
no, god damn it, you're right,
It-
Chris.
I was totally taken by surprise on that one.
Yeah.
I know.
like,
You look surprised.
I was. Wow. Wow. Didn't see that coming from fucking 5 billion miles away.
hmm
It's like, gee, let me pull out my fucking telescope here and see
Oh,
how
there it is. There. See that? We got about 40 minutes before this happens, but we already know it's. I mean, yeah, there's some. They had a hard time with. I don't know. Again, it gets to the point where you're at this point in a series that you jump. I guess shit. You used a really good term, the jump the shark term. There comes a point when you're doing things just to do them. It's the light. It's the starship using light speed to go through another starship in Last Jedi. It is nothing more than a plot device done because you have no other choice. You are backed against a corner and you have to do something. This episode had tons of that.
You know what? Fair enough. Good
Yeah.
points.
Don't get me started on that plot point.
I want to start you on it.
Man, but before it gets out of hand, I'm gonna let Shifty get his positives out of the way real quick.
Okay. All right. Morrow and the eyeball are the absolute best things about the show. The shots of the Xeno running around the compound in the distance was cool. That's how you present it. Just glimpses, not full on shots of that goofy ass mask and that terrible guy moving around in that suit. Yeah, you show him from a distance. That was great. Now the callback to episode three's ending of where I was complaining that Kirsch did not acknowledge Wendy entering the lab, and he was just sitting there working, and nobody turned around. They called back to that in this episode when Morrow walked into the lab. He was just sitting there. He didn't react, and all of a sudden, boom, pull that gun out on him. I thought that was nice. I appreciated that. Also, another callback that they had established that the door would make a noise when humans entered after they put a no humans in the lab rule. So that still came into effect when the troops entered during that short little massacre scene there. That was a good attention to detail. Joe versus the Eye, I enjoyed that. I liked it. He ran up into that crate, and then the eyeball came through the food chute there. I thought that was good stuff. The dude, we found out the bald-headed guy was a synth. I like that because he portrayed what a synth should actually be portrayed as. Like I said, going back to my earlier comments, while I like Kirsch and I'm a huge fan of Timothy Oliphant, I think he portrayed his synth a little bit too sassy because he's got that accent, and it just felt at times that he was at odds with Cavalier, the way that he was talking to him and stuff. I don't know. I think like I said, I can give it a little bit of a pass on it because he's a prodigy synth. He's not a Wayland Utani synth, so there may be some differences in his programming or whatever. Now the eyeball entering Arthur, it was incredibly stupid because, like you said, he went all the way out to the beach to get in that, and how did he even know he was out there? I still think if I do give season 2 a chance, I think that will be one of the main things I'm interested in because I think that's going to possibly be amusing when he gets back to the compound and Sylvia tries to talk to him or whatever. Because she doesn't know that he's dead now, and he's got the eyeball in him now, and I don't know. I kind of want to see where they go with that, and that's really the only thing I really want to see where they go with that right now. But yeah, I thought it was dumb, but it was potentially cool, maybe in the future. And that's really all the likes I have.
And you know what's stupid? And I'm just gonna say this real quick. She never went to look for her husband after knowing he never left the island. She went to the
Well,
grave before she decided to look for her husband.
did she know?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
she
she
knew.
did know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
because
knew.
he said that he never left. Yeah,
Yeah, when he was like, "Oh,
damn.
where is he?" She never went to look for him.
Holy
She
fuck,
didn't care.
man! Oh my god!
You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, man!
Well, she was kind of upset when she's looking out through the window when it was raining, but still, she should have been like
That'd have been the
calling
first thing
somebody
he
or
would do.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd
yeah.
have been the first thing. My husband's still here? Oh, so where is he? You know what I mean? Like nothing.
That shit kind of reminds me of that War of the Worlds movie with Ice Cube in it, when Ice Cube's son died, and then he just looked like mildly inconvenienced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That reminds me of that, man. Oh my god. Oh, I gotta move. Shifty, are you done with your positives? Because oh my
Oh
god.
yeah.
Okay, Chris, you positives?
Yeah, well, again, I don't disagree with you, Austinator, by saying that, by this point we should just expect that it visually looks good. But listen, a student that gets an F that makes a good point though while making an F, I guess you gotta look for the positive and say, okay, well, at least you got 2 + 2 right.
Yeah.
Okay, it is visually stunning. I love the production. Again, the production and camera work people don't have control per se over how the product is staged or the writing or anything. They don't have. So you got one job to do it right. They do it right. They do. So you got to give this show that. And I mean, again, doesn't change the aspect of it. The Curse versus Mara stuff, I didn't mind that. The intrusion of the eyeball was kind of stupid, but whatever. I mean, it was I guess the eyeball thing is very interesting, and just again going back to what Anzo said, it's kind of sad that your big alien or thing or the creature is not the creature it's supposed to be. It's, whatever. I give him credit on trying to be bold about things. I give him credit on that at least. I mean, I don't think it plays out right, but I will give them credits. Is it a like of mine? If I'm not fighting the thought process the whole time of how does this work in Alien, okay, I think there's some good choices there on how you're trying to present it. It just again going back to what I've said on the other end. I mean, a lot of my likes are going to also have dislikes in them. I guess. I mean, I could be doing both at the same time. I don't. I think doing these things isn't necessarily a bad thing if you have an end game. And again, we're at that point now where they're supposed to have that end game, and they didn't really have it. So I don't know. Yeah, and I guess that's more of a dislike, so I'll hold off on that. But I mean, really, for me, it's primarily the visual aesthetics of this. I still love the visuals. I love the different alien or the creatures. I love it, but I don't feel like I'm watching Alien. So it's kind of hard to give it a like when, truthfully, that's a dislike. Also, it's what takes away way too much of from this show. And then one thing in particular, it really takes away from the show, and I'll get into that. So,
Okay. Is that all you got, Chris?
yes, for now.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, we were very happy with this episode. So the main event, obviously, is our negatives. And you know what? Odzo's chopping at the bit. I think we're gonna let him go first.
All right. So first off, I still, and I hated the fact that they make Wendy being able to talk to the xenomorphs, and then you don't actually explain why she can do it, or if the other kids can do it, or will they be able to learn how to do it. Like, there's no explanation for that whatsoever, right? You have this guy, Morrow, who pretty much brought a whole bunch of people to your freaking island, and instead of killing him, you decide you're going to arrest him and put him in a jail cell. Why? Right. You put him in a jail cell with
Plot
Wendy's
device.
brother. What's that? Oh yeah,
Plot
100%
device.
plot
It's
device.
going to be a plot device somewhere in season 2.
Yeah, guaranteed. And then you put him in there with Wendy's brother, which I don't understand that. Wendy's turn to evil was really quick all of a sudden. You know what I mean? She just went from, oh, we're running the place now, and I was just like, okay, this is ridiculous. The island is supposed to be this secure island, and Murrow's people got on it so quick. It was just something that I thought was dumb. Oh, when the woman goes to the grave, the xenomorph is there. They shoot the xenomorph, and it runs away. And I'm like, wait a minute. This xenomorph has been whipping people's asses throughout the whole show. Doesn't matter how much people are there. And then one little bullet from like 5 people make it run away. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why would the xenomorph run away? It made no sense to me. So that I didn't like as well. The Morrow and Curse fight was way too short. It was just way too short. I think it's something that everybody was waiting for, and they just poo-pooed the bag on that one. We finally get the plant creature thing. We finally get to see what that is, and it just seemed like a bat. Like, we got 2 seconds of it, and the girl stands up there, and she doesn't even try and get away from it while it snaps her neck. You know what I mean? She just looks like, oh my god, doesn't even try and get away. I was like, man, they did so much in this episode that I just did not like, and that's what I can think of now. If anything else comes up, I'll bring it back. But right now, yeah, those are the things I hate this episode.
So, okay. I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off here. First of all, why the fuck are those xenomorphs green? I would like somebody to.
Well, wait a minute. Alien 3, they kind of had a green tinge. Of course, that was horrible CGI, also, and bad.
Well,
shading,
I
maybe
think
that's what's wrong. Maybe these guys came from Alien 3 and they ran away because they knew they had to get back to Alien 3 and be horrible in that movie.
They were running away because they didn't want to be.
What'd you say, Otto?
I said it wouldn't surprise me, Chris.
Okay, that's
you know what?
Trying to come up with realistic ideas here.
You know, I like that reasoning, so maybe he gets a pass. But okay, so first of all, taking away the greenness aside, the xenomorph is barely in the fucking thing. For a show called Alien Earth, I could like they're barely in. Like I would say in a 40-minute episode, like okay, they were in the beginning, which that was like maybe a couple minutes. Then they had that there was like the brief little things here and there, and that was it. Everything else was focusing on these dumbass kids, and then whatever storylines they were trying to cook up here, which was they weren't cooking. By the way, they burnt the kitchen down. The cool shit that they were trying to show would always cut off, and it would show the not cool stuff, like the Morrow and Kirsch fight, like that would have been that for the start of it was cool, but then they just cut it to something else, and the next thing you know, you see Kirsch with his back broken and Morrow on the ground, and it's like, oh, well, never mind. I guess that's too much for me to ask. I guess.
Didn't Kirk just seem weak though? Like I thought the fight was gonna be good, but Kirk seemed so weak. He just like gave him a body slam and broke his back. I was like, I thought they were stronger than that.
I thought that was very lame. Again, like the other creature, like the other alien creatures, are more interesting than the xenomorph. But they're bare. Like I don't know, like that plant thing was like it. They don't really use it until till the end, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But what was the point of it other than just to be a plot device? Which has kind of been the biggest problem with the show is all the other aliens are plot devices because they're just there for the convenience of okay, well, the flies were going to use it to kill this guy, so that way it could set up this. Oh, the plant's going to be used to do this, and then oh, the eye is just going to be there for some fucking reason. Like it's just so lame and dumb, and then the stuff with the kids, like them trying to do like a Lord of the Flies thing of, oh, we're gonna take over and we're doing this. It's like, oh, give me a fucking break. Like they are so annoying. Like Wendy, like, and this whole Wendy talking to the Xenomorphs thing, it's to me, and this is my biggest problem. Noah Hawley what he pretty much did with this is, even if you didn't like Prometheus and Covenant, like I know a lot of people didn't, this took a giant shit all over it because you're trying to tell me, and even if you don't like it, right, there should have been guidelines right away that said, hey, this is stuff you can do your own thing, but you have to keep in mind, like, hey, this is still within a certain time, I would say. So them doing like this, oh, Wendy's doing this, oh, like David thing, which is like, oh, well, fuck humanity. I could talk to xenomorphs now. Like they're better creatures. It's like, come on, like it's lame, it's stupid, and quite frankly, you know, it's just the way they handled it was so goofy, and this has been a big issue. It's been totally inconsistent with the previous Alien stuff. Like, yeah, Alien Resurrection was very goofy. I'm not disagreeing with a claim like that, but even then, like this at points was just like way too goofy, and the way they ended it just makes no sense. And I don't know how you go and try and do a season 2 and salvage this. Like the way you do it, the way they did it just feels dumb. And I really wish I had something nicer to say about it, but for fuck's sake, like, come on. Like, it just. And then you had Wendy doing like some like Neo type thing where she's like freezing the bald guy. I'm like,
Facts.
I'm sorry, that immediately made me go, that made me pause and go, what the fuck am I watching? Like, this is now far, far removed. Like, I could suspend my disbelief on certain things, but no. Sorry, I can't do it. That's dumb. It is. I know I'm saying it's dumb, but I'm calling it as it is. It was very, very stupid and very dumb. I wish I had more to say. And then of course them doing like the Weekend at Bernie's thing. I thought that was just kind of weird, and goofy, and now bringing up the whole thing about the whole wife not really looking for her husband thing and just looking like a little mildly inconvenience. It's just I don't know. And then them like doing all the haunting in the place, like all the kids doing like the self destructing in the elevator, and the stuff. It's almost like I want to call the show "Boo Haunted House" because that's what it came off as. It was just goofy. I'm sorry, this just did not work. Nothing worked. It's like the maybe good ideas here about like, oh, are we really human? Like that's fine and all, but when you can't present it in a way that's clever, I'm sorry, but you lose me. And whatever goodwill this show had leading up to this, I was very disappointed because this is exactly what these. And I know that this was not a streaming show. This was like on FX or whatever. But this is the same issue I have with a lot of these Disney Plus shows, especially Marvel, where you have a show that starts okay, but then you get to the ending and it's like you pissed it all away.
Mhm.
That this is beyond ridiculous. And it's worse because it's Disney. And it's not the first time they've done it. You would think by now, like, okay, maybe we'll get people to like crack the Krabby Patty secret formula. Maybe we can, figure it out. But no, they just don't. I wish I had something nicer to say, but it's frustrating and ridiculous. And I know a lot of the casual fans are going, "Oh, whoa, so the show wasn't bad; it was great." I'm like, "Good for you." But as somebody who's watched these movies back to back, leading up to this, and watching the show week to week, talking about what we liked and disliked, I expect, fuck me for having some sort of expectation that maybe, just maybe, we could have gotten something at least decent, but we couldn't even get that. So that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just
No. Don't be sorry for it. Again, this is something that people, as people who watch these shows, we should be sitting there holding these shows accountable for. Listen, if you say you're going to bring us an alien, again, even the way that they do it, some people said, Prometheus, for instance, didn't use alien at the beginning of it. It just said Prometheus, and then they went back to the Alien Covenant. When you do that, when you say alien this, you are definitely tying it into something. When you use the xenomorph as sparingly as they did, you're doing something. You are expected to do something that forwards or helps something. For all the faults of Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection and Prometheus and Covenant, for all the faults that they have, they still didn't do anything to fundamentally tear themselves away from that arc. There were things that happened in the movies that you expected to happen in the movies, and things that happened that, at least to some extent in the mythos, make sense. You can't just tear yourself away from the mythos just because you want to be different.
Yeah. I agree. And, at least I'll say this about, Prometheus. Yes, it doesn't use the xenomorph, but at least it didn't call itself Alien Prometheus. Like it said Prometheus. So therefore, there was no real expectation that the alien was going to be in it. But when you're calling the show Alien Earth and the xenomorph's not really in it a whole lot, that's a problem. Especially when you had 8 episodes. You could say, well, it was in a considerable amount in like a couple episodes, sure. And I'm not saying you need to be prevalent in every episode, because I get it. In every horror movie or horror project, there's the monster is not in it all of it. But they did not use this time to really develop the xenomorph. They fucked up with the mythos, the the way through, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed, and all I can say is do better.
That's a lot. You're asking a lot.
I know, but but again, I had expectations, and they were
Yeah,
not
you
totally
see,
met.
and I hate that we brought you into this and we watched all those movies, and then this is what this became. It's not fair to you, and it's not our fault. But I mean, it's just still not fair to you.
It's the same thing with Star Wars, like not like Star Wars in the sense of like, because I'm not like to the point of like, oh my god, I'm done with this franchise because of like one bad thing. Like, because trust me, I know I've seen the worst that Aliens had to offer, but Star Wars just burned me so many times to the point where I'm like, I give up. You win. Fuck you. I'm done. But I'm more frustrated and disappointed because I know Alien can do better. I've seen them do better, but this just could not. Now, again, I'll give season 2 a chance because maybe some way, somehow, they'll be able to salvage it, but I don't know how you can. So, um, Shifty, you go. You go. I'll let you go here.
The whole time that I was listening to you, I was really wishing we had the clip from the movie Copland of Robert De Niro where he's sitting there eating that sandwich and he said, "You had your opportunity and you blew it. You blew it." Yeah, need that clip because that's what they did. They blew it. They absolutely blew it. We've been waiting for this show for God half a decade, and man, like everything you guys said about the xenomorph, not to mention the way it was presented, the awful mask that they made for it, the way it sits on the body, the way that guy moved in the suit. It's done more damage than that goddamn Pepsi commercial they had in the mid '90s of the xenomorph going after the kid who was getting the Pepsi out of the machine. That was bad. This was worse. Um, yeah, I totally presented the wrong way. But at times, it was presented the right way because there are some amazing shots of the creature in this show where he's running around like a panther through the hallways. I thought that was amazing. I would like to see them, stick with that in future films and stuff because we've never seen him running. Well, he's ran like a dog and stuff, in Alien 3, but it was moving around like a goddamn panther, and I thought that was cool. But no, they totally demystified the creature in this. It's just with all the windy shit. I just man, I don't know how they could repair the creature's image in this show after what they've done. That aspect, I think, is they jumped the shark. There's no way they can fix that. There's not. Uh, Unless they come up with some new hybrid xenomorph creatures, because we got 4 more eggs in the lab. So maybe they could do something there. But man, as far as my dislikes, like I said about the Easter eggs and stuff, that no real answers on any of that stuff. I mean, at least tell us what the mold scrubbers. Well, but we know what we found out there that they're mold scrubbers. But I thought that was building up to something more important than that. The poorly developed, some out of nowhere grudges that put everyone at odds in this episode, which makes all the time spent on slightly subplot all that more frustrating, especially the kids suddenly being pissed about what happened in their transition. They knew the process. They all were there to see it. They knew they left their bodies. They should have known that there would be catches as well. Between that and Cavalier and uh, his company seemingly not giving a shit about them enough to sit them down for a talk after Nibs flipped out is incredibly dumb. Even more so when you realize it was all just to get Arthur impregnated and now host of the eyeball monster. It was just stupid moment after stupid moment, and I seriously doubt that's how they would act, especially if those kids were so important to him because like in 3 weeks they were going to have their big presentation. I don't understand. I want well written characters and relationships in something that has this sort of run length who aren't slaves to the plot at hand, and they were. The children, even with what happened to Nibs, should not be at odds with Sylvia at all. Like, why is Curly suddenly siding with Wendy? Also, like even back when they tried to escape, her and Joe. She should have played the Judas angle and squealed to Cavalier because that's what they set up with that earlier scene of her. Like, I'll be your favorite, and you can we'll work together and stuff. I mean, they set that up, and there was I don't understand. It's like they just tossed out like plot thread after plot thread for I don't get it. And then there's Kirsch. Some shouldn't even be at odds with him. I mean, as Slightly and Smee seemingly haven't told the others what they did with Arthur. So, they shouldn't even think of him as an enemy at this point, right? And the finale, I just think it needed to be longer or two parts because nothing that happens feels like it's earned. It's all rushed. It feels like it's all thrown together, which is weird because the rest of the show moved at such a snail's pace. I don't understand, especially the line "They don't get to hurt us anymore," making it seem like they have been living this long abusive existence at Prodigy under Cavalier and his mostly good natured staff. Like, give me examples where they were actually hurting them beyond what we saw because that's not good enough. They extended your lives beyond a certain death and were generally nice about it, at least to them. I mean, that whole scene plus her argument with Joe just reinforces that she's still a child. She doesn't understand the delicateness of the situation they're in. And also, other thing, killing the redhead, Trooper Chick, I thought that was a big mistake. They could have killed somebody else because I thought she was pretty cool and they could have developed her more. The plant monster was cool though. Anzo called it said it looked like a bat. I thought it looked kind of like a lizard because it was running around the side of the wall. You saw it run around in the background. I thought that was cool. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of that next season, but I don't really want to give it that much of a chance beyond 2 episodes. So if it doesn't show up in the first 2 episodes and I'm not liking it, I guess that's it. Killing humans in general, again, it doesn't feel earned for Wendy and him. It's the us versus them mentality. Even after their stuff on the docks, I don't know, man. It just Wendy just flipped, just went off. I just don't get it. It's the wholesale slaughtering everyone. I get the title of the episode is The Real Monsters, but still, I mean, she did like a 180 over the course of the show to where she's all up for saving people. Well, because I mean, her brother was on that crash site, but now she's like killing everybody. Why did they place Kirsch all the way up top in the cell when he had a broken back? And how did they even get his body all the way up there? That was silly. Also, canned biscuits, they fucking suck. They kept showing this Pillsbury ad for canned biscuits during the Hulu feed, and they fucking suck. They get frozen biscuits or make it from scratch. Don't get canned biscuits. Goddamn.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's it. That's it.
That's
The
funny.
show sucked. The show fucking sucked.
That's so funny.
Is that all, Shifty?
Yeah, I think.
He thinks.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, Chris. I saved the best for last.
Maybe. I don't.
Oh, maybe.
Why the fuck are we playing with the Peter Pan storyline? That's literally what this is. This is a complete the Lost
Agreed.
Boys versus the Pirates.
Holly
is-
thinks he's Steven Spielberg. He wanted to be Steven Spielberg because that's what Steven Spielberg used to. He'd do Pinocchio or Peter Pan and use that as a backdrop for his movie. Yeah.
Oh god, now I forgot. Who's the guy they locked up? Moro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Whether or not Moro is the Captain Hook of this or not, I don't know. I don't necessarily go down that road. But wouldn't it have made more sense to have, whether or not they weren't going to kill him or not, to have the alien kill him or something kill him, just kind of like how Captain Hook dies by the crocodile. I don't know. It just that I asked it from the beginning. I was like, okay, kitschy little thing to play with, fine, great. You're using a lot of the same names. You're using the Lost Boys names. You're using Wendy, Peter, all this stuff. It's like, okay, whatever. I played around with it for a while, and about 4 episodes in, I'm like, I was really done with it then, and we were all kind of done with the kids and the Lost Boys and all this bullshit. But then you literally just make it where they take over, and it's like, well, what is original about this? It's the story of Peter Pan. It's like the young lives on and all this stupid shit, and I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around, what did this serve? Any purpose whatsoever, other than, again, I guess just playing with nothingness and just saying it's an open sandbox to play with, and it's not. You have, again, I don't know how he sold this to FX or anybody. I don't know how he sold this or how this got past a green light.
What happened? They wanted an alien show, so they went to him to write one, and he didn't write this fully until like after he wrote the last season of Fargo. So it was them going to him.
It's just, I mean, again, and then we'll go with the pacing, the unevenness of this. I mean, it's all over the place. And as much as I don't like the way that Shifty expresses his dislike of the editing, I don't disagree with it, though. I don't disagree with the stylistic choices not helping the overall theme of what you're trying to do. The canon, the continuity problems. Again, and I said it at the beginning, is that I guess that at a certain point, and again, we always make this sound like they shot episode 7 and then they started to shoot episode 8 2 weeks ago and made the decision then to, well, we can't wrap this up. But they know this. They shoot these all in some sort of sequence. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they shot them out of sequence to get certain parts and then cut parts out, moved it over here. Things like, but they shoot this basically all at the same time. So you know, in general, what the beginning and the end point is. And so if you get there and you right before you start shooting, you're like, okay, the ending is here, but we haven't wrapped up X, Y, Z, AA, BB, CC, all this stuff. And we're going to wrap up this, though, and we're going to wrap up this, but we're going to leave everything else as a cliffhanger into season 2. That's very, what's the word I want to use? It's very,
I know the word for it, but
ambitious.
You can't say it.
What?
I ain't gonna say it. That's
well, it's very ballsy to think that you have a right to not wrap things up because you didn't get there, and then say, well, we always will have season 2. They played this from the beginning as if there was going to be a season 2 without even thinking, what if there isn't a season 2? Every show today, and this is one reason why I don't watch shows anymore. I really do not get into these unless, yes, I get into, I'll still watch the Star Wars ones. I'll watch some of this stuff. But I don't really watch episodic TV anymore because I've been burned too many times on one season, even if I like the show. Because the showrunner gets to a point in there where they don't have the thought process to, you got to give us some satisfactory wrap up to the season. Not just like you have to wrap up everything, but you need to give us satisfaction in what we just watched. Enough of it. And there wasn't enough of that. There was only more questions to be given. There was only more wait for it. We're going to give it to you next time. You don't get the right to do that just because you think. Because again, I said this maybe in episode 6 or something. I can't remember. I said, listen, if they don't stick the landing on this and then they don't get a season 2, then it just goes off into the blackness and becomes nothing. And yet it's going to show up every time you want to watch an Alien movie. You go in and you type in Alien in the search bar or something, or even if you save it, because you watched Alien, let's watch Alien Earth. And I'm going to be like, fuck no. Because you didn't give me a satisfactory ending to even your own storylines. And I'm not saying that would have saved the show, but at least give me something that satisfactorily makes me feel like, okay, I guess I watched it. Maybe because they left these ends open for a possible season 2, I can hope that they might get it right. But I've said it since early on that they have to explain what happens to all these different creatures. Why don't we have the hybrids? Why don't we have this what's the shit, going through my notes now. God damn you, Shifty, giving me note problems. Make me have to do notes now. Oh shit, what's the come on. What's the name of the fucking island they're on, or the Neverland, whatever. Is that Neverland?
New Siam.
I don't know.
What?
New Siam.
Yeah, okay, whatever. The whole point of this is that, you've added all this stuff in here. None of it fits within the mythos. It's got to go away. But he's holding on strong to these things. Now, if they do season 2, again, I'm going to say it, you're going to have to start whittling away this shit and forming that the xenomorph is the king or the queen, whatever you want to say, and that everything else is taken out and covered up by Wayland Yutani. That's got to be season 2. And again, do I want to wait for that? Do I want to watch that? No, it had to start going that direction now. Had to lean that direction now. And I don't think they've led that direction. And again, I just, it's a real problem when you do stuff like this. I think, and Shifty's asked me about X-Files, the revivals that they've done. I was sorely disappointed when the end of the first one, shows them out on the highway or whatever, and then the beam of light comes down, and you're like, okay, maybe they're going to actually bring this whole alien thing into it and all that. And then the next one came out, and we didn't even do that. No, don't worry about that. It's like there's got to be continuity within the mythos, even if you want to be different. We've got several movies where people gave their own interpretations of Alien, but within an alien mythos. Enough of one that while there's problems, there's also some stuff that you can find that you're like, okay, I like it. It feels like an alien movie. Maybe not as good as Alien or Aliens, but it's an alien movie. This is not an alien project. It is its own thing. It doesn't deserve the name. And again, I'm mad because I don't even know if it should get a season 2. If it gets a season 2, I'm kind of obligated to watch it just to see, do they pull something out of their ass and make it worth it? And I think Shifty said, I'll watch it for a few episodes. We'll see what happens. But they just keep going down this muddled path of our own thing that it's going nowhere. It's not going to go into anything. And then what is FX saying? Are they going to totally rewrite every alien movie and say those don't exist anymore? We're going off our own way, and then what? Write out the xenomorph. Another thing I don't like is that what is it that Wendy says at the end? She says, "Now we rule." What the fuck? She has this unexplained bond with or control over a xenomorph, and she thinks she's God or something. I still want that xenomorph to just fucking come up behind her, and hopefully, if we get a season 2, I'll be happy if I see that. there's just too many things in this that just, again, there's too many things that happen in this that play no point. And, I guess you said it, Austinator. I watched 8 episodes, and for what? Where am I now? I have nothing to show for it. So there you go.
And that's the common issue I have with all these shows that we do roundtables on. It's like 8 episodes for what? Like,
some of them, and I mean, I know with like you, I mean, but like me and Shifty, we like, Andor. We were happy with Andor. And so I won't say it's on all of them, but a lot of them, yeah, we get there and it's like, oh my God, what is this your answer? Is this where you went? It's like, do they not know? Sit down for 6 months, write a basic outline of a story, come up with a definite beginning, a definite end. These are our characters. This is where we want our characters to go. This is what we want our characters to be.
Your mic went out. It's still out.
Yeah, it's still off.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I might have to get a new board or something. It's all right. I got another one. Okay. So the proper process for this is 6 months of these are our characters. This is where we want our characters to start. This is where we want our characters to go and go through. And this is where we want our characters to end. Now that we know this, how do we get them from here to there in a way that makes sense? But it always feels like they say, here's our characters, here's our creatures, here's all this stuff that we're going to throw in here, and we're going to start writing right now, and we're going to figure it out as we go. That's what it always feels like. And then they get there, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, what about this, and this? I said, oh, don't worry about it. We'll just wait till season 2. It's like, are you going to get a season 2? It's like literally you have to think of this with enough of a beginning and an end to at least say we gave them a complete story arc and storyline, and we left enough at the end that if we get a season 2, we can continue. Yeah. They didn't give us that. They left so much open, so many things unanswered. And again, it's this. I just watched a horrible middle school play of some music director teacher who felt wronged by their professor in college because that's the reason why they can't get a Broadway hit or get a play on Broadway or a musical on Broadway. So they went to a middle school, got these middle school kids to reenact Peter Pan and reenact it very poorly, but with themes that they wanted to throw into it and ideas that they wanted to throw into it because they wanted to be different and they think they know what they're doing. And then they get done with it and they hand it to, they put it out there and all the parents leave going like, what the fuck did we just watch? I think we watched Peter Pan, but that wasn't Peter Pan. That was, I don't know. Was there a xenomorph of that? Yeah, I think there was. What the fuck was this? And then they find out, oh, by the way, you don't know what you're doing. The professor was right. That's what this kind of felt like. Walking into something.
At that point, if you wanted to do like a Peter Pan centric story, why wouldn't you just do fucking Peter Pan? And why
are we?
Yeah, I don't. What the fuck? This.
Yeah, it's just it.
Oh my god.
I'll be surprised if they get a season 2. I will be surprised. I will.
If it doesn't,
more. Well, go ahead.
If it doesn't, it'll be just like I said. This is the Acolyte of the Alien franchise.
Okay, yeah, and the problem is here I am. The same thing I'll say about the Acolyte, and it's a very good. I mean, shit, I didn't have any problems with you saying that. I feel yes, because there are parts of the Acolyte there that I'm like, okay, I want them to continue this. If that was actually Darth Plagueis, I would have loved to see that put in there. Maybe, I mean, it probably would have been fucked up, but I need leaving that out there and then cutting it off, now that show means nothing. But every time I watch Star Wars on Disney Plus, it's going to pop up at some point. You watch this, now watch this. No, I already did. I don't want to, because it has nothing to do with anything anymore. It can't fit into anything because it didn't go anywhere. And that's where I feel like this is going. And so how much more time do you give to it? How much more time do you say, okay, well, I mean, here's season 2. Do I watch the whole thing and hope that it's going to end up the way I want it to, or not even the way I want it to? Will it show up and answer any question I have?
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. This happened to the Covenant. They didn't end it, and if they don't end it with Earth, if they don't give it a second season, this franchise has pretty much turned into the Terminator franchise.
Okay, yeah, well, you see, I can handle the Terminator franchise.
Yeah.
Again, anything with time travel makes it very easy to cut out what you want and what you don't want, because again, the way the Back to the Future explains it is pretty good, is that every time you go back, you can create a new offshoot. Yeah. And so I'm okay.
But I mean,
I understand where you're going with it.
Yeah, but regular folks will be like, well, how many times are they going to not continue their story? I mean, why should I even give this?
How many times are you going to say that's not the way it ended? This is the way it ended.
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, no, I get that, and well, it's very much going in that direction.
Yeah. Well, I think we're close to the 2 hour. We're close to 2 hours. Let's get into our final thoughts and final grades. Like I said earlier, we're going to do final thoughts and final grades on the episode, and then we're going to do final thoughts and final grades on the show as a whole. I'm going to start with Shifty, your final thoughts and grades of the episode, and then your final thoughts and grades on the show.
D+ for the ep, D for the series as a whole, maybe a C- because it did start off really well for those first 3 episodes. But man, did it go downhill. And there was parts of the flashback I liked until it got really goofy. But still, you had that one chick who was a horrible actress. I don't know. The show's just, man, it ended bad. I'll give it 2 or 3 more episodes if it gets to season 2. I hope it doesn't get renewed, but I would hate for it to, it be another dangling plot thread in the Alien universe. I don't know. It's definitely the second worst thing in all of the Alien films and shows now, next to AVP2. But now I go back and watch AVP2 because I've only seen it once. It makes me want to go back and rewatch it to make sure it's that bad, because this may be worse.
Bring a flashlight. Because you can't see shit in that. Although maybe in hindsight, maybe it's a good thing you can't. So,
yeah.
All right, very good, very good. Chris, final thoughts and grades on the episode, and final thoughts and grades on the show.
I'm just going to give it an F across the board now. I loved things they were doing. I was giving these episodes good grades because I liked things they were doing. But I said it every week. You have to land it. They didn't land it. It's an F. I watched that middle school teacher take something and insert it into something, and the product of 2 things that I love, because I love a lot of the Peter Pan stuff. I like a lot of the different movies, a lot of the different the threads that have been out there. Hook, the live action Peter Pan, all the stuff about the writer and those movies. I like a lot of that stuff. I love Alien. I love a lot of that stuff. They mixed 2 things together, didn't deliver on any of it, of how it works together. You didn't give me enough xenomorph. You added creatures while cool, and some of it was really interesting. The eyeball, for instance, was really cool and interesting. But you you focused on the wrong things. You had the soup, you had the ingredients, you had all the stuff there. You just don't know what you're doing. And I will say this: I haven't watched a lot of the showrunner what's his name?
No, Holly.
They know Holly. I have watched Fargo. Fargo was done pretty darn good. I liked it. It does. When I watch Fargo and then I see this, I can't imagine they came from the same person. I can't see it. I just don't understand how somebody that's able to put something together like Fargo, which is a series of things that, you know, it was kind of, I don't know. It just, I don't know how you get the same thing from the same person, these two things from the same person. So because of that, it's an F across the board. And I retract all my old grades and make them Fs. You can't give me that, and if you can't follow your own train of thought and deliver on that train of thought while still keeping it even vaguely in the mythos, then you don't deserve a grade of anything other than an F.
Holy shit! It's like that famous clip that they repurposed of Back to the Future where Doc Brown's pointing at the board explaining the timelines. He's like, Marty, we've entered a timeline where Spider-Man 3 has sucked so bad it's made the first two suck.
No, that's not that bad. It's just this. You can't deliver it. I said it throughout the whole series. Listen, if this doesn't fall and if this doesn't have a wrap up of some sort of conclusion for a lot of the issues, then no. And he's just acting like I don't have to worry about what I haven't answered. I don't have to worry about the fact it doesn't fit in this timeline. Blatantly shitting on a timeline is not an excuse.
No.
Or blatantly shitting on canon for nothing other than blatantly shitting on it, that being the whole sole purpose, is like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's what makes these, I don't care who you are. And again, I was okay with things like Star Wars and the sequel trilogy doing some of the stuff they did. But when you totally stop and say, wait, no, rewrite, let's go back and jump, pull it all back. Anytime you do stuff like that, it's basically saying you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And that's what he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, at least within this context. Or there's too many people still in the Fox / 20th Century Studios / FX group that are still thinking that they need things in Alien that doesn't belong there, because that's why Covenant became such a problem. And Ridley Scott basically got tired of it and basically gave us a product that is the best product he could give us because people fucked with it. If that's where what the problem is, then Noel Hawley just needs to put his hands up and say, listen, if you guys are going to fuck with my shit, I'm out. And come out publicly and say that's why it was the way it was. But I don't think it was. I think this was his stylistic version of it, and it doesn't work in this.
Yeah.
You could have called Lost Boys. You could have called it anything other than Alien Earth. F across the board.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anzo, final thoughts and grades of the episode and final thoughts and grades of the show.
Yeah, I gave this episode, I believe I gave it a D. I think, I'm not sure, but I'll give it a D. Thinking about it over again, I'm like Chris, you know what? I'm going to give the whole series a D because it didn't stick the landing. They did a lot of the things that I did not like. The one thing I will say is it didn't end like we all thought it was going to end. So I did enjoy that. It was different, right? We all thought, Kirsch was going to do something, and it just didn't end the way I thought it was going to end. So I'll give it that. But overall, yeah, it's definitely a D. And I'll watch season 2 if it comes up, but it's nothing that I'm going to be like, oh my God, Alien Earth, yeah, let's go. It ruined it. Didn't stick the landing.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to be nice on this episode, and I was going to go around the D range. But, talking about it and just thinking about it, it's an F. right? Like this episode is a flat F. Like this was everything I feared was going to be and worse. Because this show, I mean, we knew going into it, right? Like there's something fucked was going on because you got the showrunner saying, "Oh, this show takes place here," and then you got Noah Hawley saying, "No, it's take place here," and then the other people saying, "No, it's take place here." It's like immediately that should have been a red flag that should have said, "Full pause. This is gonna suck." But those first few episodes I liked, but once, and then Noah Hawley made those comments, and then this happened. I'm with Chris. This now negates everything I said. And honestly, I'm getting really tired of these fucking shows doing this. So now I'm like Chris, I'm giving this whole show now an F. Because you could not stick the landing at all. I would have been happier if a fucking Predator showed up, or at least in some capacity to at least say, hey, this has nothing to do with Alien. This has nothing to do with the previous Alien movies. This is in the AVP style of film. And I would have said, okay, fair enough. I would have said, it's goofy, it's stupid, but okay, Alien vs. Predator is kind of goofy and stupid. So you know what? It would fit. But no, they couldn't do that. Instead, now you pretty much said, nope, this is in, without saying it, you pretty much said, nope, this takes place in the Alien franchise. You pissed all over the prequels. Again, if you're somebody who didn't like the prequels, you still have to look at it as this. If you've already established a continuity, Ridley Scott established those prequels as canon. Alien Romulus had shit that called back to those prequel films. And the fact that you went out of your way to piss all over them, that alone gives this whole show an F.
Yeah, not to mention they're doing a sequel that ties it into Romulus
that's
and the prequels.
That's a problem right there. Yeah, I mean it is a problem, and that's what I don't know if I don't know who's to blame, because FX and Fox / 20th Century Studios, whatever you want to say. Again, all that still very much its own thing, but still Disney, whatever. I don't know who you blame for this, because you got to think that they had to have vetted this. They didn't just give this to him and say, go ahead and just do whatever the fuck you want. If they did, then they're to blame.
Yeah.
Again, this is best to just go away like the Acolyte, never be talked about again, never be a part of anything. In fact, they should just scrub this off their streaming services. They should scrub the Acolyte off of the streaming services. Anything that doesn't fit into the canon. I mean, literally, poll people who watch this stuff. Hey, do you want this back still on the streaming service? Do you still want this here? Because, do you think this belongs with this?
Well,
I don't know.
Unfortunately, it seems pretty divided. There's a lot of people that love this.
Well, yeah, but then they're not Alien people. Again, there's people who love the Acolyte. There's people who love. Okay, we like Andor. Shifty, we like Andor. We really liked that series. We loved that series. Onzo, Austinator, Danny do not like that.
Yeah,
I don't know how do you come up with the definitive answer with this, but there needs to be something that, I mean, again, all we can do is if it comes up in our feed is say, nope, doesn't exist. That's what we're relegated to. I agree that I don't get how you can have a Romulus 2 come out and even still have this. So I don't know. It's mind-boggling.
It is.
And then you got Borderlands coming out, which is supposed to be a connection to Alien 2, right? So it's just weird.
It's supposed to get there eventually, but I mean, I don't know. It's there's a lot of problems.
It just doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. It's like, God, I don't know. Just shit like this pisses me off. It really does. Like, it makes me want to go back to the other roundtables that I've done and be like, a lot of shows that didn't stick the landing, I'm giving it an F. Like,
I am going to reserve from this point on to have a grade during each episode, and then if it doesn't give me what I feel like I need at the end, I'm going to reserve the right from this point on to say F across the board, or
Like,
D across the board, or whatever.
I'll use these as an example, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision. Like I think I've stated I liked it when it started, but the
Mm-hmm.
ending it sucked, and WandaVision's an F. That's just you can't, like, Loki season 1 F. Like, I mean, season 2 I give it I'll keep it the same grade because I thought it was actually pretty good. But
Whoa,
you look at
whoa. The best episode in Loki season 1 was that last episode. What are we talking about?
but still, it I didn't like the season overall. So
Okay.
that doesn't
I
really
loved it.
count. I'm talking about like shows that like I maybe would have liked, and then it ended like What If, like the first season What If F. That was
What?
no F. Like
The Doctor Strange episode was better than
Was
the
the
second
best.
Doctor Strange movie. Yeah.
Obi-Wan
Mm.
Obi-Wan Kenobi F.
Oh yeah. Yes.
The Mandalorian F. Season
No,
3 F.
no.
Yeah, season
Maybe
3 is
it's
definitely F. Yeah, season
C.
3.
It's a C. It's a C.
Book of Boba Fett F.
No.
Agreed.
It's.
We're not going to
C+.
fully agree on all this stuff. We know that, but I mean, listen though, you have a right to say that.
Wait. Were we disagreeing that Book of Boba Fett is an F?
I do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I do.
Well,
You know,
I mean,
I do. I'm more with Danny on that.
Oh
The
my
car
God.
chase
Well,
and the tech.
that's why I don't get why Danny always says I'm on your side. I'm not on your side on half of this stuff. It's
So
like
you guys love the Power Rangers and Star Wars, right?
fuck
No,
that.
that's
Oh God, no.
no.
And
No.
you know what? Bad Batch. I'm sorry, it's an F. I just,
No, God, I will
Yeah,
fight
Bad
you to
Batch
the
is
death
an
on that one.
Yeah,
Bad
Bad
Batch
Batch
was
is
good. It just had a lot of filler episodes in season 2.
Yeah, Bad
Man. There were some great episodes of Bad Batch. When they went back to Camino and it flooded, that was great stuff. In trying to get off of there, where Tech got killed in season 3 or whatever, or the end of season 2.
the
I'm
point
right there
of,
with you, Ostinator. It's an F.
like,
No,
thank you. Listen, the point I'm trying to make is it's the same across the board. Like, it may have moments, but if you can't stick
no,
the
it was
landing,
consistent.
they're all
Outside.
no. I'm saying, like, with these shows as a whole, for me,
I think me and Austin are
it's an
going to
F.
have to go at it like me and Chris does, because I know I think you're wrong about the Bad Batch. We
Yeah, but you
can
can't
do a
tell
whole
the man
stream
his
about that.
opinion is wrong.
Well, no, well, I mean, well, I'll tell. Well,
You
yeah,
disagree with him.
Yeah, I disagree with him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
That's what I'm
fine.
saying.
You're wrong.
I disagree.
You're
I disagree
I'm
about
wrong.
some of the stuff they're saying, but you know,
Yeah,
hey,
Chris is always
I'm
wrong,
out of
though,
order.
so we're not going to do that.
Are you
Oh,
saying
fuck
I'm out
that.
of order?
Listen, I gave up on watching Star Wars content for the most part, and you know what? I've been fucking happier than ever. So
Well,
you know
see,
what?
the thing is,
I wouldn't go that far.
your Star Wars was the prequels, and that was, I mean, yeah, I mean,
That was
if you
what?
grew up with it, huh?
That
No,
was
they
what?
weren't. They're not good. I mean, if
Stop it, Chris. Stop it.
he
What
was
did
with
he
the
say?
OT, if he was the
You
OT
read it, you
fan,
read
man,
it.
No, I didn't.
he'd still be with it.
He said they're
He'd
not
still be
good.
with it. They're not
What
good.
isn't good?
The prequels.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I disagree with you on that.
Oh, of course we disagree with him on that. Prequels aren't good. What are we talking about here?
No, they're terrible.
No, whatever
they're good.
you know what you're talking about.
Listen, I like the OGs and the prequels, but I'm just saying, like, it's man,
The sequels are trash. All right.
sequels are really bad. So
I was
so bad.
okay with Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I really was okay with it, and I know you guys don't agree with me on that, but it was really what killed it was the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Last Jedi
Yeah.
killed it. No, we're not doing that, Chris. The Last Jedi killed her. You know that, and we all know that.
No,
And then
I will never.
Rise of
You know, I
Skywalker
will
put the
not.
nail in
I
the
will
coffin.
not agree with you on that. I like The Last Jedi because I thought it was bold. I thought it was. Don't take this the wrong way. I thought it was very similar to the ideas introduced into The Empire Strikes Back to an extent, and that I was okay with the direction. The difference is where they went wrong is they totally just walked away from it. Listen, own up to your story. If you're going to go out there and do your thing, finish it. Don't go back and change it because you hear everybody talking shit about it.
But that's what Ryan Johnson did. Ryan Johnson changed what the story was supposed to be.
But they gave him the right to do that.
Hold on. Let's just say this, because I know you're saying you don't think it was, but majority of people said that movie is what destroyed Star Wars, right? So
I don't think it did.
and people stopped watching Star Wars because of that
true.
movie.
I mean, the Phantom Menace.
So it is that movie.
The Phantom Menace was created because of that movie.
Yeah, exactly. It was that movie that started the end of Star Wars, and the last one, Rise of Skywalker, put the nail in the coffin.
Well, I don't know. I think it was fine. I think there was plenty of stuff that was okay. I just think people couldn't accept and wrap their head around the concept of it. That's fine. Again, it's a personal thing, and people know that I have defended it since the day it came out. I will still defend it till forever. I think they fucked up the next one. And what's funny is of all of the movies, The Rise of Skywalker is probably the second most visually stunning movie. And that's where I die every time I might watch it, which is very rarely. I die on the fact that it's just a beautiful movie. There's cool things they brought it back to it, but it just doesn't make sense.
Isn't Rise of Skywalker where they did the ship through the ship?
No,
that's the end of Last Jedi. And I'm okay. Again, as I state, but I don't have an issue with plot devices done because that was where they were at. I just, you know what? Sometimes you get there and that's that. And okay, it's not a great thing. Again, that whole chase sequence in that movie is not great because it's like you set it up to believe that they're going to get away from it because we know there's another movie coming up, but that's how you do it. Okay, I guess. I mean, whatever. I don't have as much of a problem with it as other things that have done the same thing. Just kind of throw their hands up and go, I don't know, let's do this. Two ships, space, we've seen them crash into each other before. Okay, I'm gonna go with it. I'm okay with that. Again, I am not going to say that The Last Jedi is the best of the Star Wars movies. I'm not, but I'm not as turned off by that as I am turned off by The Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say they're both equally trash and move on.
That's fine. Hey, again, your opinion.
But not as trash as Alien Earth. Fuck that show.
No.
Yeah, they're worse than... No, Alien Earth is worse. No.
Yes.
No.
What?
No.
What?
They're worse than Alien Earth.
No.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi are worse than Alien Earth, hands down.
No.
You know, I'm with Anzo on that. I think they are worse.
Hands down, they are. They were the worst Star Wars movie. Those 3 Star Wars movies, and that's including, the first one, Force Awakens. I will never watch them again. And I tried watching Force Awakens again, and I can't do it. It's trash. And Jedi,
it's difficult. It is difficult to watch any of the sequel trilogy. It is difficult because I know that I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Hopefully, Starfighter and Heir of the Empire will turn around.
If the plot of Starfighter is what I heard the rumor is, yeah, it's going to be another dud.
What? Hey, Amy Adams is Mara Jade and the kid is the son of Skywalker?
No, I didn't hear that. I just heard that son
Yeah,
was a
that's
Jedi.
Oh
And
my
yeah,
god, that's
yeah.
crazy.
The kid is supposedly Luke's son, and Mara Jade is Amy Adams, and her brother is what's his face? Uh, who's the lead? Ryan Gosling.
Gosling.
That it's
Gosling
yeah, Gosling is Mary Jade's brother supposedly, and they're trying to get him to Ray or somebody to
for the
train him.
Jedi, yeah. Yeah, they better
Yeah.
not do that.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they may be setting
Mm-mm.
that up to introduce Luke and Mara Jade and their whole romance in the Heir to Empire movie, which all the Mandoverse is building up towards that crossover movie
Yeah,
later on.
but you have the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker where you don't talk any of that shit, right? Luke
Yeah.
has no child, nothing, and all of a sudden, boom, you just want to pop up Luke as a son.
See,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the reason why I said what I was saying all that time. You could have reset, and then because you had the world between worlds right there, reset it because it would
No,
only affect
no,
certain people, and then you could
no,
just move
no,
forward.
no. World between worlds, and I've said it many times. And God, this stream just went on for other stuff, but World Between Worlds is absolute garbage. I do not like
It
that
is,
anywhere near Star Wars. I don't like it.
but it can fix it. It can fix everything. It can fix everything. But that's
Yeah,
a
but
stream unto itself.
right, and just to say this last one, but that'll be the problem, Shift, because you could fix it, but then now you could use that to fix anything. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that. I don't like that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, with all that Star Wars talk, I think that is the perfect way to end the Alien Earth Roundtable. 8 episodes of, well, now nothing, but yeah,
15 weeks. 15 weeks of doing these things. It's been fun.
Yeah.
jeez, wow. 15 weeks of alien movies in this. Huh.
it was
What's next?
definitely fun.
What
I
is
would like to do Starship Troopers in a couple of weeks, but
I would love to do Starship Troopers with you because if I watch that movie again and I hate it as much as I think I still hate it, I will eviscerate you for things that
I
you will
hate that
probably
movie
say
too.
about that.
I hate it
Cannot.
too. I think it's so
It
stupid.
it is so meta. I get the humor. I just can't stand how
So
campy and horribly acted it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
The best part
same
about it
here.
is the redhead in the fucking shower scenes, and
Agreed.
just that's sad that I say that because it's like, oh my god, it just I don't get people who like that movie. I don't.
Same here.
would you like to
Same here.
would you like to know more?
No, I don't. I
I
got
know.
tired of getting that question every time they said it. I think I screamed it out at the fucking theater. I said, no, I don't.
We should track down that 1985 movie called Creature because it is a blatant ripoff of Alien. I mean, it's blatant.
It is.
I know I've seen that.
But
It's no fun.
yep. Oceanator, where can they find us?
yes? We'll get to that. I mean, 15 weeks. I mean, it's been great. I mean, we'll definitely. Again, I'll think of something because I mean, this was a long expenditure, so I'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll start with Shifty. Where can they find you at?
Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. on Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective and Vinny Art. It's the Collectible Past Toy Show, talking about everything from the 1950s all the way up to today. And hey, if you got a Ross store in your area, go out there, look around, and go out there regularly. They're getting stuff in for the holidays. They got some really good deals out there, man. And just today, I saw a store in California. They got in these Sabine lightsabers. These that usually go for like $280. They got them for $30 at Ross. Now, I don't know if they're going to be everywhere, but they got proof and pictures. So keep your eyes peeled if you want to get you one of them good lightsabers out there.
What makes you
Uh,
surprised that they're doing it for $30?
because
Yeah, for
they've never.
Sabine's.
I
Yeah,
know,
I'm like,
Nobody
but
wants
still,
Madame Sabine's lightsabers.
it's still one of those lightsabers you never see under like $150. Them suckers are always expensive, not for 30, and never at some place like Ross. This is like unheard of. So it may just be a California thing. I don't know. But yeah, that's the biggest deal I've seen in a long time. But hey, next Friday, Slasher Mix Splitters channel, we'll be reviewing episodes 9 and 10 of Lucha Underground, a cool Mexican wrestling show from the El Rey Network from about 10 years ago. Next Saturday night, probably nothing because it's over. The Alien Roundtable is over. We'll have to get something up and running. And then I'll let Chris talk about what's going on Sunday.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. It's always great to have Shifty here on the channel. Chris, where can I find you at, sir?
well, you can find me on the Real Review 3000, Chaos Central. We have 3 shows over there. I'm looking to do some other stuff over there. We'll just figure that out as we go along. Thinking about bringing back Chaos Central News. We'll see how that goes. Got to talk to several people about that. It involves a lot of different people. And then, here, there, everywhere. Sometimes on Anzo's channel, sometimes on Danny's channel. I'm looking, and I didn't hear back from you, Anzo. If you're available tomorrow, like maybe around your time would be 4, maybe around 4:00, doing the Rule of 3 tomorrow. I don't know. I was unable to do it tonight. If you're not able to, we'll skip it from last month and we'll go do it next month. But I don't know. Let me know. What was that?
I might be.
Okay, let me know. I know Danny said as long as it ends by 8, he can do it. So let me know. But tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern will be the weekly wrap up. We'll be back. I had some teeth pulled, so last week on Friday last week, and so the weekend was really just trying to keep the swelling down and stuff. And it's still a little tender and stuff, but I don't know. I'll tell you what, losing 3 teeth is a great way to lose weight. I have lost 20 pounds.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like in the past week, I have dropped at least 15. I've been losing weight because I've been watching it. And so I've been drinking nothing but water. I've been eating very little, but I like the result because I needed to lose weight. So I'm still sticking with it.
When I had my teeth pulled, I was eating like egg salad and like Vienna sausages and anything soft.
Vienna sausage. I eat some cottage cheese, and I've been eating potatoes and mac and cheese, but like very small portions. So I don't know. I'm just watching it, and I'm enjoying being able to really get my weight down. So
nice.
Starting to look like a stuck pig there for a while. But no, tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, we're doing a weekly wrap up. And I mean, I have some other ideas. I'm in the middle of trying to finish up some work at my mother's house. I'm moving in making a studio apartment in her house. I'm an only child. She asks me to do a ton of stuff. It makes it very difficult with my job and going back and forth from my house and having to go up there. So I'm going to be moving in with her. So that's why I've been waiting to do things like Name That Tune and stuff. We will get back to that. It's just I need to get this stuff done and moved so I can get back to it. When we get there, we'll be going off with the Rumble, Gospel According to Chris, all that stuff again. I just don't see the point to start it again, to stop it again for a minute. So I'm sticking with the stuff that I can do really easy, and that's some of this stuff. So, but other than that, thank you for having me. I'm sorry this became such a clusterfuck of a series.
That's all right.
No, it was the worst finale to an Alien Roundtable 15-week whatever run through that you could have ever asked for.
Yeah, that was
like you woke up the next morning after being at the bar and you're like, oh my God, I better not have slept. Oh shit, I think I did. Oh fuck. Oh shit.
Mm.
Yeah, man, there was man. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, no problem, man. It's always great to have you on here. Thank you for joining us on the Alien retrospective roundtables. Anzo, where can they find you at, sir?
Yes, guys, Bigger Ford Entertainment. You know the channel over there doing a lot of stuff. Saturdays we do the Rewind. Wednesdays the OC. We actually be breaking down Peacemaker, which last episode was really good. And Gen V, so make sure to check that out. Thanks for having me, man. It was a good show. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Always a pleasure to have you. So, man, I'm done with. I can't say subscribe to the channel because we're doing the Alien reviews because that's done. So, I mean, until season 2 probably, but we don't know yet.
We'll find something if we want to keep this up on Saturdays to make a couple Saturdays off or whatever, and decide what we want to keep it, like do a roundtable on or a review of.
Now, Bob, I was actually going to bring this up because since because we've been backstage a couple times and we've been kind of going back and forth on this. I actually kind of want to do this as a stream like topic. Like, is the DCU doomed to fail? And I maybe this coming week I would like to maybe do something like that because I feel like that would be. I mean, Shifty, are you down for like doing something like on a Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, talking about the?
I probably need to watch Superman and Peacemaker though.
I mean, if you've already seen like Superman or whatever, like if you already have.
Well, I just haven't seen the end of it. I've only seen. Yeah.
I think he agrees with me.
Oh, probably.
I don't know.
Nobody agrees with you, Chris.
More people than you know. There are many crazy people in this world.
Oh,
I am one. There are plenty of people that see the world from my perspective. And as I tell people, I'm either a real crazy person in a very normal world, or I am a very strange, normal person in a very fucked up and confused world. I don't know which one, but I am one of those two things.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. But then like I think after that we'll definitely find something else to do a roundtable on because like I had fun doing these, and plus it gives the channel some content. So, oh god,
I hate to keep on bringing up the fact that you're a young fella there, Alsnair, but I think a premise of a show would be cool if we like brought up like movies from the 80s you may have not seen, and then we watch them and review them.
Night of the Comet.
Oh yeah, Night of the Comet.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Now that I've heard of.
The
You have not heard of Night of the Comet?
Well, no, I have not heard of that. No.
Interesting.
The Monster Squad. Yeah.
Well, we'll think of something. But
yeah.
I'm on everybody's channels at some point. Everybody's channels are in the description. So check everybody out then. I think that about wraps it up. We're about about 12:40, almost 12:40 my time. So it's late. So I want to thank everybody for sticking around for these Alien roundtables. These were fun, and that's about does it. So thank you guys for watching. This is the Osnator signing out.
Game over, man.